What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about an interesting update from Treyarch, some additional Year 2 content, and even more. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and be sure to turn on notifications to stay up to date with everything going on with Black Ops Cold War Year 2, Vanguard, and any other future Call of Duty titles. Also enjoy the disgusting new gameplay in the background using the brand new Vargo 52. I have been looking at some of my previous comments in recent videos, and people out there are making it really clear to me that it looks like the Vargo is patched out of the game, but if you did already unlock it and have a class set for the weapon, you should be able to continue using it in multiplayer or zombies. But it also looks like the unlock challenge that's glitched in Modern Warfare is also patched out. And let me know if you guys are having a different experience down below in the comments. That's just what I've been seeing over the last couple of days now. But also take a nice look at my brand new beautiful controller from AIM. They went ahead and put together this really nice partner package for me, featuring the controller itself, my logo slapped onto it, we got a case there, a really long charging cable. It's a really nice kit, and don't forget you can use code DYNAMITE to save 10% off all orders over $50 over at aimcontrollers.com. Their link, of course, is down below in the description, and I've always wanted a custom controller with my logo on it, and no other company, from my understanding, actually allows for that unless you're partnered with them, and AIM allows you to do it whether you're partnered or not, which is fantastic. So let me know what you're thinking of the controller drip down below in the comments. Really means the world, and thank you to AIM for sending that over. But we also have an update from PlayStation Size, who is reporting that apparently the Season 2 Reloaded patch was already added to the files for Warzone, and we also have a quote tweet from the Ghost of Hope, another gaming scooper, who is claiming this is the mid-season update. So if that's the mid-season update, I'm like, wait, Season 2 kind of just started, right? So is Season 2 as short as the Vanguard timer claims? We have 3 different countdowns right now across Cold War, Vanguard, and Warzone. We're not sure which one is correct. I'm just gonna guess the Warzone one is, but if the mid-season update was already added to the database for PlayStation, then maybe the Vanguard timer is correct and Season 2 is bound to be a shorter season. The reason for that could be because they want to release Modern Warfare 2 a lot earlier than expected, so they're going to cut Vanguard short, maybe still do 6 seasons, but have them be really short compared to seasons of Cold War or Modern Warfare 2019. And that would also mean that there really wouldn't be any quote-unquote big reloaded updates each season with separate roadmaps. There would just be these little mid-season updates featuring whatever was remaining on the original roadmap. So that could be the case here. Now, it's also worth speculating, if Season 2 Reloaded is just around the corner for Vanguard, then does that mean the Year 2 content that we know exists for Cold War is also around the corner? Could it be the right time when we finally get some of those new bundles we saw, the official release of some of our new DLC weapons, even WMD? Could Reloaded be the answer to the giant mystery behind this Year 2 content that's currently on deck, ready to go? That could very well be the case, but only time will tell. Now, I also wanted to go into something really interesting that you guys probably didn't think about, and that's the fact that the Black Ops Pass in Black Ops 4 did feature some maps that are, of course, returning to Cold War. So, as a reminder, if you look at classic maps that were brought back as faithful remasters, WMD, Havana, a nighttime version of Launch. We still don't have a daytime remaster of Launch, and funny enough, Launch was already rumored to be releasing in Cold War at some point along with Radiation, and there were parts of Radiation thrown into Blackout, so maybe those are 2 easy maps that are ready to go and could drop in Cold War. It'd be convenient, right? We also have a map, Grind, which was a fan favorite map from Black Ops 2. That was released for free though, not in the Black Ops Pass, but considering there are rumors that Plaza and Yemen are also coming to Cold War multiplayer, I think Grind would be a good fit. I would love to see how that map would play with our score streak system that we have here in Cold War. So that could be Treyarch's way to save some time and say, okay, we already have these maps done for Black Ops 4. It's an easy port into Cold War. Let's go ahead and just throw these maps in, considering the Black Ops Pass or the DLC season for Black Ops 4 wasn't very popular. I mean, I'm sure everything still performed good, but not great. And I can guarantee you guys, even if you own the Black Ops Pass, you probably didn't play some of those maps more than once or twice. I mean, I played Havana quite a bit, never really saw WMD. Launch was fantastic. I mean, I wouldn't even mind if the night version came back, but considering Jungle was a map available in DLC 6 of BO3, launched of BO4, and then re-released as Jungle Flooded, I'm like, alright, well, they're clearly bringing Jungle back since data miners already found reference to it in Cold War, so I would not be surprised if those Black Ops Pass maps that didn't get too much love also make a return here for this game for free this time. Now, I'm going to throw this in here. If it's an easy port to bring those multiplayer maps from BO4 into Cold War, then I know you Zombies fans watching this video are like, well, what about zombies? And hey, I mean, considering all the Victis assets are sitting there in BO4, maybe it is possible for them to do a really easy plop of all that content into Cold War, whether it's the Victis remakes, whether it's some type of new experience that features a transit bus, all that's sitting there in BO4 and could be repurposed, and maybe the only chance they could repurpose it would be for Cold War and not for their next game, which may be on the Modern Warfare engine, in which they would have to start from scratch, from the ground up, making everything again. So just throwing that out there just in case, since maybe Black Ops 4 is the answer to some additional content for Cold War, stuff they could just throw over very easily without doing too much work. Now the good news is, aside from the bundles that we already went in depth about in previous videos, my last video also showed you guys a preview of these new bundles thanks to Elvis Cod. He somehow got early access to at least 3 of them, and he went and got some really clean footage of everything, so we went ahead and reacted to that in my previous video. It was great to look at just how crazy the cosmetics are for Cold War, and just how much superior they are compared to some previous Call of Duty entries. There is an unreleased Swiss Mastercraft though, which looks absolutely insane. I'm not sure how hackers found this, but images and videos are being posted all about this over online, and it's unclear when this is coming out, but I'm saying this is good news because this is not at all featured in the other 5 bundles that we know are releasing in year 2 of Cold War. So there's even more than meets the eye here, and I guess this may be a part of the second batch of year 2 content that will end up coming with the new bundle for the Fléchette SMG. We still don't know the name of that weapon, by the way, only the code name, and also the release of Jungle, which is not currently able to be force loaded by hackers. WMD is though, so that'll be released with the first round of year 2 content presumably, but there's definitely more on the way, and this is proof of that. So it looks like a second batch of bundles should be dropping at some point this year, and hopefully beyond just more bundles, we could also get some more content in a couple of months, whether it's those rumored maps we just talked about, easy ports from the Black Ops Pass, hopefully more weapons, some zombie surprises, game modes, whatever the case is. But for those out there that were a bit concerned, and if you guys thought, oh well, the year 2 content we know of right now, that's gonna be it, that'll be the final batch of DLC for this game, doesn't look like that's gonna be the case actually. It looks like it's actually quite the contrary, and even more that we know of is going to be dropping at some point in 2022, which is fantastic. So if Cold War isn't your cup of tea, you probably don't care, but not sure why you're still watching this video. But if you do love Cold War, then I'm sure you're very excited about this. But if you're curious if whether or not Cold War could still get any updates even when Modern Warfare 2 comes out, here's what I'll say about that. Black Ops 3 did it. That game still released plenty of DLC despite Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare Remastered, World War 2 being out. Treyarch didn't care. They still dropped extra weapons, maps, modes, remasters, cosmetics, supply drop content, events, the works, you name it. So I don't see why Cold War can't do it, and I get it. Modern Warfare 2 will probably break the internet because of the name alone. That game is going to be successful, and let me knock on wood just in case something goes wrong with stability or QA testing. I'm confident that they're going to pump out a solid sequel, but while that's in its prime and that inevitably gets 2 years of DLC, Treyarch could still add in some content here and there for Cold War. I'm sure they'll have something on deck, or I guess we'll have to wait and see. But considering the rumor from the press that Treyarch is also helping with the free-to-play game, which apparently Sledgehammer's leading, and also considering there's a rumored standalone 2023 Zombies project, Treyarch could be bouncing from project to project, and only time will tell how much they're going to release before their next Call of Duty entry, which is now delayed to 2024. Lots of questions, of course, but there was a great comment I saw in one of my previous videos from John88Real. He went ahead and said, when it comes to us having to wait longer for year 2 content in Cold War, I hope not. The one argument I'd make in terms of it coming earlier is, unlike Vanguard, Cold War sold a lot, so COD could ignore Modern Warfare for a bit. Activision wants people to play and buy, and if numbers are as low as it seems for Vanguard, one very easy way to do that is early year 2 content for Cold War. So go back to my example earlier. I mean, hey, Modern Warfare 2019 had year 2 content, but it was spread out. It was like a quote-unquote Season 7, but a lot of that didn't come out until very deep into Cold War cycle. I guess Activision never saw a need to really drop it, but you look at Black Ops 3 having a year 2, a year 3, maybe during any of the major low periods for Infinite Warfare, World War 2, Activision said, yeah, Treyarch, just drop whatever you have on deck, keep it going, let's get the ball rolling here, release some more content that could be an easy copy-paste from BO4 or whatever the case is. Now, we also have a tweet from the Ghost of Hope who says, it's always interesting to see people's reactions when you tell them that the skins Cold War made and sold were more profitable than what Modern Warfare made and sold. I love the Mill Sim skins in Modern Warfare, but they're not as profitable as what Cold Cold War did. And based on the data that you can look up for yourselves, and based on the reports from the Activision earnings call, Charlie Intel, it's made out to be that Modern Warfare was definitely the best-selling game of 2019 and the best-selling Call of Duty in history, but Cold War ended up becoming the best-selling game of 2020, which is surprising considering that was still Modern Warfare's prime for the most part when Warzone gave it a boost, and was also the best-selling game of 2021 for a majority of the year, I should say. I know Vanguard took over in December, but even when Vanguard came out in November, Cold War was still #1 for PlayStation, as you guys will see. So it's made out to be that Cold War was the best-selling game for a longer duration than Modern Warfare, but maybe my numbers are off, maybe the data is just a bit skewed. I mean, we don't have access to that behind the scenes, of course, but maybe one day they'll clarify that. However, the microtransaction sales were as clear as day, more successful in Cold War than Modern Warfare, and you could thank Warzone for that, you could think whatever you want, whatever excuse, whatever cope, but just know that yes, the bundles were very successful in Cold War, to the point where there's no doubt in my mind Activision wants to drop even more of those right now while Vanguard is down bad. I think Cold War bundles could pick up the slack quite a bit for them, and can make up in areas that they're not really happy with. Now, if Modern Warfare is your cup of tea and not Black Ops, I'm okay with that. I mean, we can sit down and have a civil discussion, have a civil debate, we can talk about things throughout the podcast. I'm cool with people having different opinions, but here's something crazy that I really can't get behind. So, according to Ralph, who is a very well-known scooper by this point when it comes to Modern Warfare 2, he's claiming that despite plans for revising Modern Warfare 2's SBMM system, disbanding lobbies are supposedly here to stay for all future premium Call of Duty titles. And that's one of those things that Modern Warfare 2019 brought to the table, and I'm like, no, I just cannot stand behind that, and I was beyond frustrated when Cold War did the same thing. Clearly it worked enough in Modern Warfare and Cold War to justify bringing that back again for future Call of Duty titles. I mean, I can't tell you how much time you actually waste when you have to deal with disbanding lobbies every single match. You know, I love the charm of the old Call of Duty days where you can play in a lobby against a good group of people, maybe you lose, maybe you win, and you do a rematch with the same people next game. And you can actually meet friends that way, right? Talking to them in game chat and playing multiple matches in a row with them. Now it's like you play one game, maybe you add them, maybe you invite them, but it's just weird. It's really weird. And I mean, looking at the Cold War matchmaking right now, as I've made very clear before, ever since the Vanguard integration with the ranks, lobbies have felt very strange in Cold War, much easier than ever before. That's why I made a video a little while back where I'm like, hey, I think SBMM was either toned down or removed or broke because of the Vanguard integration. Lobbies just don't feel the same. Maybe all the sweats moved to Vanguard. Lately, though, I've been seeing a little more sweats than usual in Cold War multiplayer. Maybe they're coming back, but that's just my observation with the game. Now, allow me to remind you that there's definitely data out there somewhere which the general public doesn't have access to, which does prove statistically why skill-based matchmaking needs to remain in Call of Duty. It's definitely helped something, whether it's their bottom line, whether it's engagement, the player count. It has definitely helped something to justify remaining the way that it is for every Call of Duty moving forward. I will say it significantly changed with Modern Warfare 2019 and remained roughly similar for Warzone and Cold War, and I think the same can be said about Vanguard, but it doesn't look like that system is going anywhere unless Microsoft somehow changes that philosophy once they call the shots next year. Never say never. Now, we also have a tweet from Treyarch where they said, last week we celebrated all the incredible work that went into our inaugural Team Deathmatch initiative, where the entire studio formed small teams to work on a variety of passion projects. Many of those are innovations in tech, process, and dev tools, while others focus on new and exciting gameplay opportunities. No matter the area of focus, they all have one thing in common: our collective love for Call of Duty and Black Ops. Team Deathmatch is also a celebration of the trust and investment that Treyarch puts into its people. Rather than a single day or weekend to work on these projects, the entire studio is given 2 weeks to focus on our own internal projects. We're incredibly proud of the amazing work from every team, and we can't wait to see how they'll contribute to the evolution of Treyarch's signature gameplay in our future titles. So for those out there that were like, oh, is Treyarch done with Call of Duty after Black Ops 2024? Maybe, maybe not. If you look behind the curtain and have the skills we're looking for, we encourage you to apply to Treyarch today. Who knows, our next Team Deathmatch could feature your own passion project. All links to this are down below in the description, by the way. Such a great thread from Treyarch, and here's the thing about that, right? These passion projects they're talking about could play a pretty big role, as they even said, in what we end up seeing in this presumed free-to-play title next year, the standalone Zombies project, their next Black Ops, which could be one of their best games yet, considering they'll have more time to make it. This is exciting news, though. I mean, I'm happy that Treyarch is getting a breather. They're getting an opportunity to work on things things that aren't just crunch for Call of Duty and whatnot, picking up the slack for Sledgehammer. Now they can focus on themselves. And my theory is that after their next Black Ops game in 2024 or whenever it comes out, maybe after that point they'll actually work on some new IPs and put down Call of Duty for a little while if Microsoft allows them to. You never know. But last and definitely not least, a bit of a follow-up to the GOAT PrestigeisKey, who posted a really good video earlier today talking about the state of Vanguard. I think, as he pointed out, and as you guys are probably well aware of, the energy around the community is really low at this moment. And I know with the COD cycle, energy usually gets a bit weird during February or March. Things pick up with big DLC updates in like April, May, and then throughout the summer, it's all that hype for the next Call of Duty title. But right now, it's like Vanguard fell into obscurity just 2 seasons into the game's cycle. And I felt like the game fell into obscurity near the holidays, by Christmas. That's when stability really broke for the game, and that's when devs went on vacation. And once they all came back, it was like people just weren't interested anymore. And the energy around these new seasons really isn't there. And I'm saying that from a really honest standpoint. There's things that I do like about Vanguard, and I think the game has a lot of potential, especially story-wise, right? So much potential with that prequel ability that they can actually tap into, where they can focus on Reznov, the early days of Project Nova, even Perseus. A lot they could do with the DLC season, and so far they really haven't done much with it. So I personally don't like the fact that we have to wait for Modern Warfare 2 to quote-unquote bring everybody back and to kind of revive the community as it stands. I mean, yeah, the name alone, because of nostalgia, will revive a lot of portions of the community, and I get it. It's going to be a successful game. I'm hoping for the best. I want it to be successful for the sake of all casuals, hardcores, content creators. We need this, but the fact that Vanguard threw the community into the dirt so damn hard, to the point where we have to wait until Infinity Ward brings out a new game, I mean, that's just frustrating to see, especially just 2 seasons into this game's life cycle. I don't know. I mean, every time I bring up how crazy Vanguard is at the moment, some people out there in the comments get triggered, and it's like, that's just the truth that I'm reporting on for you guys based on hard statistics, hard data, and the energy that I could observe from our community, whether it's videos, whether it's performance, whether it's streamers, whether it's what everybody's saying collectively on the internet. It just looks really weird right now, and I think we were really at a high with Cold War, so it sucks that Vanguard kind of brought things back and took many steps backwards to the point where we need a whole new Call of Duty to come out to kind of repair the damage that was done. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave all your thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on our interesting update from Treyarch regarding their passion projects? How are you feeling about the additional Year 2 content that could be on the way? And also, what are you feeling about that unreleased Swiss Mastercraft? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.